going on, guys? It's your boy Fallback352, and I'm back here with another video for you all today. It is currently 7:13. That's besides the point. We need to talk. If you guys haven't heard, over the past couple of weeks now, there has been protests going around in the country, representing or have been going around in the country for George Floyd. I get it now. It's a distressing time for everyone here. I get it, but when protesters and police clash together, normally it doesn't make a good mix, because police will use lethal force if authorized, and that's how a retired police chief just yesterday actually lost their life from looting, from people who were looting and rioting in the St. Louis metropolitan area. And I live very close to that area. And I just want to come out and say, I will be taking a break from videos until this entire issue is resolved and until these cops are put in jail. Because what that cop did with George Floyd's neck, that should never have happened. And their family is speaking out today, because I just saw it on the news. A mother and a daughter are speaking out for George Floyd today. And, well, I didn't stay around for the whole segment, but we need to come together as a nation, okay? As a community together to stop the racism and the discrimination. Because right now, there's a pandemic going on. People are risking their lives to protest George Floyd. And I get it. It's a normal thing to do, to protest for something that you want for the rest of the world, or for the rest of the nation. But we gotta think about these things, okay? We just can't go into these places looting and rioting and think, oh, we can do this since we're protesting. You can't. It's not possible. I'm even speechless that stores down here, stores and restaurants that I live close by, are literally boarded up, so looters and rioters and whoever else comes through doesn't get in. And I just want to say, I'm very, very, very sorry for the people, or for the family of George Floyd. I get it, it's a distressing time for you guys, it's a distressing time for everyone here in the States, but at the same time, we need to come together as a community, as a nation, to end this discrimination and the racism. The racism and the discrimination has been going on since the world was created, probably. And there's nothing being done about it, because no one knows it's real until something else happens and they start protesting and rioting, looting. And I'm just lost for words right now of what I'm looking at as a nation. And I sound like Donald Trump. I'm not Donald Trump's son, clearly. But it leaves me speechless that we're already in 2020. We're 6 months into 2020, and there's already a protest. I wanted to get through 2020 without having any problems other than the problems of the coronavirus. But now that we have the George Floyd death, there's a lot of controversy on, oh, this cop did the right thing, or this cop should be in handcuffs. I get it. The cops should be in handcuffs. I'm not taking sides here. But at the same time, maybe I don't know. I don't know anything about the George Floyd stuff as much as I should. All I know is that I can't scroll through Instagram without seeing protests, looting, rioting on any Instagram story that I look at. And it really pains me. It's really sad that we as a nation are starting to fall apart. And it just pains me. It may not look like it, but it pains me. You expect that this discrimination and the racism will end at some point. Apparently not. All these people think they have this so-called white privilege to do whatever the hell they want to do. They can't do whatever they want to do because they're going to get arrested for it. But that cop used his so-called white privilege to murder a man who supposedly was using a counterfeit $20 bill. They didn't, and here's the question. Why didn't the store clerk bother to Hold on, I don't have dollars on me. But why didn't the store clerk bother to you know what they do in the movies where they think it's a counterfeit until they put it up into the light and you see through it, it's not counterfeit? Why didn't the clerk do that? The clerk should have done that instead of calling the cops and having an innocent man killed for a counterfeit $20 bill. That is not how that's supposed to work. Just we're falling apart. The United States is just absolutely crumbling now. We have the coronavirus to worry about. We have Michael or George Floyd to worry about. We're just crumbling, and I'm just looking at my neighborhood falling apart. I have certain friends that won't even talk to me anymore. I have certain people who I used to play with or like hang out with. They don't talk to me anymore. Our neighborhoods, our nations, are literally our nation's capital, and probably everywhere in the States, it's falling apart. It's falling apart. You can't expect someone to just hop on, because a YouTuber talked about this yesterday. You can't expect someone to hop on the camera and just, oh, I'm all gonna be happy Danny. I'm gonna play some games. You can't. With the stuff going on in the world right now, there's no way to make regular videos other than update videos. You can't do that. It's not possible. Even now, I'm just lost for words. As I said, I can't believe that. This is not how I imagined 2020 to go. I imagined 2020 to be the year where we would only have to worry about one thing, and when that one thing is gone, it's done. Every day, or at least every year or so, there's always some there's always some black man on the news saying, or there's always some black man on the news that got killed by a white guy or a cop. It was the same with, oh man, what was his name? He was chased down by two white people and shot dead, and I think it was in February. What was his name? I can't remember his name, but every day there's literally racism, discrimination around the nation. And we as a nation and a community on this planet, well, in the United States, need to come together. We need to end the racial discrimination that is going on as we speak. Because right now, I didn't want to feel like waking up and making a montage or editing a montage. I wanted to talk about what's happening right now. And if this doesn't, I feel like me as a human being, have lost not all hope in certain people, but in certain places of the country because of the stuff that's happening right now. And people think it's okay to come in front of a camera and act all happy and jolly and all this. We need to step up our game, guys. We cannot let racial discrimination happen anymore. It only takes one. Okay, the camera stopped. But it only takes one. It takes one person to stop that racial discrimination. It takes one person to make sure that this discrimination ends. It takes one person to make the world a better place. And that one person can't do that because another person is trying to screw up that person. As a community, as a nation, we need to step up our game to end racial discrimination. And you guys are probably wondering, well, how do I do that? Enjoy yourself. Just don't, if you see something wrong, either intervene, walk away, or do something. It takes that one person to do something that one other person cannot do. These protests, they're tearing us apart. Literally. A family, a community being torn apart from protests. Then a couple of days ago in the news, police are using pepper spray, pepper balls, or whatever they call them, rubber bullets, to clash with peaceful protesters. Hence the word peaceful protesters. And I'm just wondering, like, and just a day ago, a cop pushed somebody over, nearly gave him a concussion because he hit his head so hard on the ground. He literally was sitting there recording, and next thing you know, the cop came up and bang, knocked him backwards, almost hit his head. I can't do nothing about it. I don't live in that place. But you can stop it. We get it. George Floyd affected us all. We're protesting. It was the same with Michael Brown and I can't remember his name. Michael Brown I can't remember his name. This is the biggest brain fart I've had in a while. Trayvon Martin. Thank you, Brandon. And back to the serious talk. But all these things with Trayvon Martin that went around a couple years ago, same with Michael Brown a couple years ago, now George Floyd. Look at me. I'm afraid I'm next. I'm afraid that anyone in my community is next to be killed by a white officer for normal everyday things, except for that counterfeit bill. I'm not going to side on any side at all. But I'm just afraid that one of my family members is next to be killed by a white officer. I'm afraid that one of my friends are going to be next to be killed by a white officer. I can't stop that unless I'm there. I'm afraid that I'm next. I was afraid to go outside yesterday because of these protesters. We are falling apart. And you all know Donald Trump. He isn't doing nothing about it. He's not sincere at all. He's like, oh, I'm very sorry. And he's looking around. He's not sorry at all. Trump is a Republican who doesn't care about anybody but his family. Trump is a full liar. And you expect him to apologize? He doesn't apologize. He's putting the nation at risk for God knows whatever reason now. And I didn't want to get up and make a video about this, but I went up and got it done anyway. Racial discrimination has got to stop now. There's some YouTubers who aren't even uploading videos that I watch, aren't even uploading videos because of the stuff that's happening here in the United States. There's some foreign YouTubers that I watch who live in Australia, the UK, Russia, all of them people over there. They don't upload videos right now because of the stuff that's happening in the United States. The United States news is affecting people across the sea. You have got to listen to this. Racial discrimination has got to stop now. And I'm a 14-year-old black African-American boy who doesn't know anything about life. Okay, cool. But we need, as a nation, to end racial discrimination. Racial discrimination is not going to get us anywhere in life. People are risking their lives for protesting. And I get that. But when you have COVID-19 to worry about, you're also putting yourself at risk of dying or catching this virus. Healthy, asymptomatic, symptomatic, or not. Don't go rioting and looting and stealing and well, for God's sake, don't do anything stupid that will catch you in the long run. Whatever you do, don't do it. You can't. It's not possible. Whatever you're about to do tonight, before this curfew is set in place, don't do it. Whatever you don't do gets you farther in life. And you guys go out here rioting and looting and stealing, robbing. These stores are boarded up because protesters are looting and rioting and stealing. A guy a couple days ago had a blowtorch. It set a sushi restaurant on fire. That's not gonna get you anywhere in life. You can't just go around looting, stealing, and robbing stores just because it's a protest. Just because it's a protest doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. Okay? I get it. We're all sad. We're all angry. We're all just in disbelief. And we're just making that disbelief worse. That's not how things are supposed to work in this country. This country was a nation that was torn down and then rebuilt as a new and improved United States of America. And now it's being torn down again because some cop with his white privilege killed an innocent black man over a counterfeit $20 bill. That's not how things are supposed to work around here. Cops can't just go around killing innocent people for everyday things just because they have white privilege. Your white privilege means nothing. Just because you say you have white privilege doesn't mean anything. Your white privilege gets you nowhere in life. It just pains me. I've never had to make a video this about anything except for right now. Look, I've been ranting for 17 minutes. And I thought that we as a nation could come together as peacefully as possible with peaceful protest. There was fires set ablaze in Minneapolis. There was stores looted, stores robbed, people being shoved by officers. The military was sent to deal with this bull crappage. Like, come on. You can't just do whatever you think is right. You can protest all you want, but you can't go to stores and loot them and steal from them. You can protest, you can riot, you can say prayers, you can sing songs, you can take a knee. You can do all those things right now, except for going to stores, tearing them apart, stealing their stuff. People who are very sick can't get their medication because stores are boarded up to protect them from the rioters, and the protesters, and the looters. So I'm asking, as a United States citizen, for the entire nation to do our peaceful protest together. Meaning, I don't want you, I get it, I'm 14, you don't have to listen to me. But I want the entire United States to peacefully protest. I don't want them to go looting. I don't want them to go rioting. Protesting. I don't want them to go looting. And I don't want them to get killed or arrested by police. Take a knee. Go protest with your peaceful protesters. Don't, for the love of God, don't loot and rob from stores. Just don't. That's not how things are supposed to work. I get it. It's a protest. You think you can do whatever you want. Listen, you can't. That's enough about me ranting for this. I'll see you guys after this whole mess is resolved.
Yeah.